Welcome back to discussions about One Punch Man.
You may notice I'm not slamming my head against a wall this time.
Yes, it was pretty good, and the ending actually left me a little bit pumped up for next week. Granted, I know Saitama will probably end the fight within 50 seconds.
Oh wow, you're putting a lot of stock in this guy. Okay.
Okay, granted, like the season 1 boss took like 2 episodes to beat.
You're giving this guy a lot of credit, aren't you?
Why? Are you expecting less than 50 seconds of fighting?
I'm expecting like 3.
Oh,
He's gonna be beaten in one punch.
obviously.
I don't see how you think he's gonna have much more than like. Hold on. How are you measuring this out in like 50 seconds? Are you measuring that out in the time of like the animation, or in like the time of like the fight actually taking place,
The,
like the in-world time?
the in world time of the fight actually taking place.
Okay, so no, yeah, I would say like 5 seconds max.
Oh,
50 seconds animation time probably, but 5 seconds max, like in that world timeline.
okay. Okay.
Saitama's gonna sidestep, unless there's just bullshit talking going on back and forth. Like the actual fight is gonna take 5 seconds
Mm.
because Saitama's just gonna sidestep the punch and then just punch, and it's just gonna be over. Like I don't know what you want. He's not gonna use serious mode at all. And I'm not even saying that knowing what happens. I'm saying that as a person that's like just knows this series and how this works. Because I don't remember how this fight plays out.
I think I have slightly more faith in what was his name? Goketsu?
I mean, you can have as much faith as you want. The problem is Goketsu's gone. He walked away.
Oh,
Bakuzan's the one that was
oh
left.
yeah, Bakuzan, Bakuzan.
And he's the only new guy. He's the new one. He just became a monster.
Hmm.
Look, the dude probably doesn't even know his own strength at this point. So even if he would try to hold back, he wouldn't realize it. And B, even if he did hold back, like if he didn't hold back, wouldn't matter. So Tom was just gonna stand there, probably take it, and then just be like, "Oh, you're interesting. Punch. Have a banana."
Yeah, so Bakuzan is now a monster, mostly because this episode was about the monsters coming to the fighting tournament and saying, hey, all you losers, do you want to become more powerful? Here's some monster cells, eat them, and have
Well,
your wishes granted.
here's the thing that I was looking at. I was reading the manga, as you all know at this point. There are differences, and I feel like there is some stuff that's left out that feels kind of important. Like when that assassin-looking dude with the bald head, Chose, when he eats that monster cell, he describes how the transformation is affecting it as it's happening. Whereas in the anime, they just kind of gloss over that.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't like about this episode. It's like, munch, munch, I'm a monster.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it plays out in the manga. The difference is that like Chose kind of explains it like after it has fully happened. He describes how his morals are kind of like melting away, even though he was a person that had very little to begin with.
So it was also munch, munch, I'm a monster in the manga.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it just felt way too fast. I felt like it should take at least a minute and a half.
I mean, the only other thing I had a problem with, and regardless of the fact that this happens in the manga and in the anime, it's just a personal thing. Like, Chose's a person who was describing how great his DNA was, right?
Yes.
Like, I am a superior being. I've been bred to be perfect, blah, blah, blah. Shouldn't he have the idea of, like, wait a minute, if I ingest these monster cells, I'm introducing imperfect cells into my body and my DNA and ruining it?
Correct.
To me, to have him do that seems kind of stupid because it doesn't make sense for the way he's been, like, kind of described at this point. Yes, he's a minor character, but it kind of goes against what little details, as far as a character goes, that you've given us, right?
Right.
Again, that's a personal thing. I think the way it's handled is fine. I just think it should have been someone else that was kind of an analytical mind rather than Chose, or he should not have been yelling to the heavens about how great his DNA was.
And
One of the two.
and since you read the manga, you'll be able to answer this. Was there a longer fight between Bakuzan and Goketsu?
Yes.
Mm.
That is, in fact, one of the things I was going to bring up. There is a legitimate fight that goes on between them. It's not a long one, but it's enough to show you that Bakuzan has nothing on Goketsu. Bakuzan's throwing punches, and Goketsu's literally just blocking it with one hand. And Bakuzan has 4 hands to punch with. Goketsu only needs 1 to block all of them.
Maybe if I would have seen that, I would have less faith in him up against Saitama.
Potentially, yeah.
Because Siryu seems to be maybe not as strong as Saitama, but maybe kind of has the ability to knock out enemies quickly with little effort.
I mean, like, here's the thing, right? I think, and this is me just going on my own gut feelings here, I think Siryu is a strong person. He is powerful, and he is probably near the peak of what most humans can do outside of Saitama. The problem is he has a shitty attitude.
Yes.
Which, in the manga, when he's in the position that he's in at the end of this episode, he kind of like, there's some dialogue that kind of gets skipped over, where it's the realization of, wait a minute, this is what happens when humans are in despair. This is why people love heroes and like heroes. You kind of get a slight impression of that, the way the anime handles it, but in the manga, you definitely can tell that, no, this is the dawning on my fucking eyes of why the hell heroes are needed and why they're looked up to. Also, just to point this out too, so you saw the point where we cut away to Moomin Rider and Tank Top Master, right?
Yes, saving the hospital.
Yes. Now, initially, that was in a different position in the manga.
Okay.
It's placed when Siryu is giving that speech about how heroes are dog shit when he's talking to Saitama. And it's placed in there to juxtapose his argument as stupid. Like, that's why it's there. It's there to be like, no, Siryu is a fucking idiot. And he just doesn't get it.
Because he was saying, hey, if I beat all of these monsters, will you go out with me?
Well, yeah, because he's fucking selfish as shit. And fucking Bakuzan calls him out on that, too. Like, you have fame, you have money, you have the girls and the ladies and shit. It's like, aren't you really selfish for having that stuff and not sharing it? And he's not wrong. He's not wrong that Siryu is a selfish motherfucker.
Yes, I totally agree with you there.
And that even helps out with Snake and, Lightning Max when they come in and they're like, we're here to save you, you idiot. That's why we came back.
That you can escape.
Yeah, we're not selfish, we're selfless. Even to Snake, I don't know how they want to pronounce it, and Max, it's like, if we can save even one person and it costs us our life, it's worth it. Also, there's a point that they skip out on the anime too, like right at the end, where you see Siryu like calling out for help. There's a bit they missed.
Oh really? What?
Yeah. So right before he starts calling out for help, Bakuzan is just like gloating over him, basically telling him how he's going to kill him and asking him like, scream for me, blah blah blah. And Siri and what was it? He goes, maybe I'll let you live if you lick my feet, right?
Ooh.
Well, Siryu, being the douchebag that he is, obviously licks his feet. No, he what he does is, with what strength he has, he twists the dude's Bakuzan's pinky toe and breaks it. Even though he's like laying on the ground, more or less crippled. Like, he uses his one arm to break his toe and then calls out for help, which kind of makes even more sense when Saitama shows up and says, you did well on your own.
Yes.
Because even at the end, he was still not giving in to that, even if it was for selfish reasons. Also, Saitama explains when he gets there why he's there. It's like, I thought it was weird that security started chasing me halfway through. Gave me time to change around in my costume and see what was going on.
I did like the fact that we saw Watchdog Man fight.
And he fights like a dog.
Yes, lots of pouncing, running, dashing.
That's also something I wanted to mention. There's a weird thing about, and maybe this is just translation, I'm not 100% sure. But the way Garo mentions how Watchdog Man has speed and power, but it's nothing compared to him, or more, something more or less like that. The manga words it differently, where it's like, no, I understand his movements and how he fights. Like, it paints Garo as more of an analytical person than it does just as I'm a powerhouse and I'm gonna kill you. Like, you get more of an impression of what he's like. He's not dumb. He's not just brute force. He's smart. He learns how people fight and then exploits the weaknesses in those fighting styles.
There was.
I think they might mention that a little bit with Tank Top Tiger when he fights him, or Tank Top Master. I think he mentions it there, but it wasn't
Yes,
here for some reason.
I think so. It's like, I've seen you fight, now I know how to beat you.
Yeah,
It was Tank Top Master.
yeah, Master. So yeah, I think, assuming I'm correct, he does that there, but it's not mentioned here for some reason.
So, would that be his power? The power to analyze and form a counterattack against it?
I mean, is that so much of a power as it is, someone that's
Strategy?
smart and strategic? Yeah. Like, that's not really a power, that's just someone that's smart. Now, smart in a different way, true, but, smart nonetheless.
Good point.
Like, you could almost say he's like Goku in that way, where he just learns from fighting.
Super learning.
Is that a new quirk that's going to show up in My Hero in the next season? Super learning.
I don't know.
Some guy with a giant brain on his head. No, it's going to be the Lobe from Freakazoid.
Oh my god.
I have super learning. That's my quirk. They call me Brain Boy.
Oh my god.
I kind of want it now. Now I'm thinking about it, I want a Freakazoid My Hero crossover.
That
Or at
would
least,
get done.
or at the very least, I want a goddamn. I just want him in the background. I want a cameo of just Freakazoid in the background. Of like, maybe they're like flashing through heroes doing shit on TV, and Freakazoid's just there being an idiot. And now it's the American heroes, and it's just Freakazoid putting chocolate on his head, like in the intro. Alongside like more serious heroes, and then Deadpool's there. Do you think Freakazoid and Deadpool would be best friends?
Yes.
Two fourth wall breaking idiots? Of course.
Yes.
Oh my god. Deadpool would love Mr. Hand.
Handman.
That Handman, is that his name? I don't remember.
Yes, yes.
He would love Handman. And they would both destroy Fanboy.
And Chum Chum.
Oh no, I wasn't even talking about that. I was talking about like the actual Fanboy from Freakazoid.
The better fanboy.
Yes, the better Fanboy.
By far.
The tub of lard that's just useless and knows all the nerdy facts about the person. The stereotypical comic book nerd.
So overall, you say this episode is far better than this season has been, or kind of better?
I'd say, I'm trying to think. I'd put it at like, it was okay. There wasn't as many variations. What little there were, I think, were important to have. However, it's passable. So maybe like a 6 out of 10, which is kind of par for the course with the anime so far.
And you're not hitting your head against any solid object.
No, I'm not, because last episode was fucking dumb, and I would have put it at a 3.
So better than normal, but still average.
A little above average, yeah.
Yeah, I would say the fight between Siryu and Bakuzan was pretty good.
Like, honestly, the highlight of last episode, and the only reason it gets a 3 is because of the fight with Saitama being as action-packed as it was, but even then, the animation wasn't, like, stellar.
Wonderful.
It wasn't stellar the way it's been done before. And it's kind of the same with what's shown here. Seiryu is just kind of shown, and it's just kind of par for the course animation without anything being crazy. And honestly, this fight could have done with some crazy, I'll be honest.
But one thing that you might not know, but this is done by JC Staff, who also makes Food Wars.
That's great. Food Wars isn't like a shonen anime. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's not a shonen battle anime like this one is. Even if this is a satire, it's still got plenty of shonen battle action.
Because Food Wars is shonen as hell.
Yeah, Food Wars is shonen as well. It's just not like a heavily action packed thing. Like you don't have crazy animated fights in that.
But what are you talking about? There's lots of action, onion chopping action, stew stirring action.
Yes, but that's action that doesn't take much animation. Hence why it doesn't really count as a good comparison. Now, don't get me wrong, they have a way of making food look fucking delicious,
Yes.
but they don't have a way of making battles look good that I've seen so far.
And we will be reviewing Food Wars, the fourth plate, episode by episode, I believe this fall when it drops?
Whenever it drops, we'll be there. And you'll probably be square, like a sponge, also named Bob, probably wearing pants.
We'll be back next week for more action. Definitely more action. Because next week, oh boy, will seem to be a little bit actiony.
Saitama versus Bakuzan, I give it 5 seconds.
Possibly Goketsu?
Goketsu's already left.
But won't Saitama go after him?
Why would he? He doesn't have a reason to.
Good point. Good point.
Like, Goketsu's not trying to kill anyone. He's just walking off back to his place.
Catch you next week.
Bye.